What is up, YouTube? I'm back with another quick video. Today, it's gonna be kind of weird. Last time you guys saw me, I had an F30 335, and I do not have an F30 335 anymore. I have two cars now, and I think they're quite a bit better in terms of what they're actually intended for. So I'll show you guys that quick, and then we'll get into the whole point of why I'm making this video. So if you guys can tell from the roof line, this is an E91. This is a 2007 E91 328xi Touring, and this is a grandpa spec for sure. We got tan, single hump, wood grain, automatic, but honestly, it's an E91. And once I show you guys the other car that's outside, you'll see why it doesn't really matter about the spec. And there it is, 2001 996 Carrera base. It's a 6-speed, black over gray, and best of all, we have sport seats. So for right now, this car is hanging outside while the E91's in the garage, but yeah, this car was definitely a mess when I got it. But at the end of the day, it's a 911, so how can I complain? So now that you guys have seen both of the cars, that we don't have the 335 anymore, now we can get into the video and show you guys the reason why we're making this. So for those who have watched my videos in the past, I got a road top branded Carplay unit and put it in the F30. And today we have another Carplay unit from another great brand who I can't thank them enough. Eonon and Zoe at Eonon, shout out to you. You helped me out here. We're gonna go ahead and install this. And we're gonna show you guys why this is a great unit, especially for cars that are single hump with no iDrive. So first we'll get into this. We have the screen here, which I have yet to take out. This version has no knobs or anything like that as a touch screen. It has these kind of haptic buttons over here, which is great. I'll probably be using the volume on the steering wheel anyways, but either way, comes with this. You have a box full of goodies. So this here is your rear view camera if you decide to add a rear view camera. And then we'll switch over to these. So this is the main harness here for plugging this in. There's also like a GPS and all that good stuff in here. So tons and tons of wires. And then this, just a faceplate for your HVAC and all that good stuff. So we'll get to that. And then behind here is a little bracket for the new unit to sit into. So one thing that I did want to mention, which I hadn't seen in other videos, and this might be a great tip. So this is an LCI HVAC switch panel. And you'll notice that on the LCI, you have the heated seat buttons here, whereas on the pre-LCI, they are blank. So we'll head into the car here and I'll show you exactly what I mean. So you'll see here, this is the pre-LCI setup. This is a pre-LCI car. So you'll see here, you have your heated seat buttons down below. Don't mind that. Luckily, the new switch panel has good buttons, but these are blank. So when you put the screen in, you're losing the radio, obviously. And most people will move this unit down, which is great. However, you lose the heated seat buttons. Now, what's good about the Eonon unit is that you do get to retain the heated seat controls through the screen. I'm an OEM type of guy, so as well as those work, I want to keep my buttons. So what I did was I bought an LCI panel, which is plug and play. And depending on what switches you have down here, you're going to lose the other ones. In my case, I'm losing hill descent, which who's using that? So now at this point, that was the easy part, talking about it. Now we're going to install this. And to be fair with you, it's really not that bad. Eonon does a great job of this being mostly plug and play. So we'll get started on that now. And hopefully this should be quick and easy for you guys. So let's get started. I didn't mention this before, but picks of all sorts is definitely handy. A little flathead. The reason is because behind this right here, there's a little part where you need to kind of push in and pull out. So that might come in handy if you're using a pick. So what we'll do is we'll get this pick behind here, and we'll go ahead and pop it out like that. And same thing on the other side. Now, once that's pulled out, there's a couple tabs back here. Make sure you don't mess up this fiber optic. Basically, you're gonna push this little tab down, slide this back, and that'll pop up. Should be nice and smooth Obviously I'm weak, so that's probably part of the problem. Now what you're gonna find is 4 screws. These are Torx. That's gonna be a T20. So we'll take those out next, and this will be nice and easy. So to get the radio out now, you just have 2 Phillips head screws down here. These are Torx T20s. You can ignore those, and then we'll move forward with these Phillips heads right here. Now that those 2 screws are out, what you can do is you could just go ahead and pull this out. But the first thing I'd recommend is taking a microfiber, whether you have a manual or an automatic, doesn't really matter. You want to put this down because this could scratch it up. So we'll go ahead and pull this out. And then on the back, you have a bunch of cables. It's going to be kind of hard to show, so you're just going to want to go ahead and pop all those out. Voila, just like that. So on mine, you just have this little antenna here. Then you have the quad lock connector, which you could see back here. So super easy. There's a little tab behind this part that you press down and then push out on the quad lock all in one go. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna prep the new screen to go into the car. So first, in the package, you're gonna find 2 of these little tabs. They only fit on a certain way. So the screws there, which of course the camera won't focus for some reason. But either way, the screws only go in a certain way. So those go on there. And then these, you'll have this 2 little metal brackets here. Then you have the main bracket. This main bracket is actually where the head unit is going to sit on. And then obviously you have all the wires. You're going to use this packet of screws here to adhere all of these parts onto the head unit. All right, so now you should be able to see. We'll flip it over. Now these little push clips here, the bracket pushed onto those, and then you can just see pretty close those right there. Screws threaded on. Should be all set there now. So now this is what the HVAC control is going to slide onto. As you guys can see, climate control slides right into that little clip on the bracket, and there she is. It's pretty much ready to go. So obviously this looks super intimidating. We're not going to be really using most of this. So this here is your mic. You could use that if your car doesn't really have a mic already. Mine does, so we won't be using this. This is a brake shift control. Not really sure what that's for, but either way, we have some fuses here, then we have the quad lock, and then most importantly, wherever it is, your GPS. So this is going to be important. We're going to want to stick that somewhere behind the dash, closer to the top of the dash though. So let's get started. So getting back into the car here, we can see this quad lock connector here. So this is going to be essentially the most important piece to the whole radio. So this quad lock, you're going to want to plug it in here, and what it'll do is it's basically going to do everything that your old quad lock did, except quite a bit better. So let's go ahead and plug that in now. It's a little hard to explain, but on this vehicle, where these pins go, we needed to actually remove a blue plastic blocker where the pins go. It looks like this. Might be hard to see on camera, but there are 2 of these. You got to pry those out to be able to put this connector into the other quad lock connector. And now you can see here, we can start to essentially take these little cables and plug them in one by one. The cool thing what Eonon does here is they actually put it on the label. You can't really see, but it's highlighted in which slot it goes into, so it makes it super easy. So I'll go ahead and plug those in now. So right now I'm just going through some of the settings on here. Right now though, trying to work on getting CarPlay to pull up, so that would be next. But yeah, at the moment, oops, there we go. So I'm connected, there's music playing, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn that down so we don't get copyright. But I think if we go back to this main screen here. Now it's connected via the CarPlay, I believe. So there has to be a way for me to be able to get into the CarPlay. So let me figure that out now. Alrighty, everybody. So as you can see here, CarPlay is working. Now I don't know if this is a user error or what, or it may just be, you know, the nature of this screen. I don't think it's an Eonon thing. I would imagine it's just a situation with all screens that for cars that don't have iDrive. But either way, as you can see, there is some gap here on the bottom and over here, which, I mean, again, at the end of the world, it's not a big deal. But yeah, CarPlay does work. So initially it took a little bit to connect, but eventually once I got it connected, we were all set to go. So now it's working. Everything works pretty flawlessly. And then you can go back to the home screen and everything like that. This right now is just, it's a little laggy. Again, it's his first startup, so not a big deal. But yeah, CarPlay is in. You know, we're all set to go. This is working, so that's all good. One thing I wanted to mention though, which was not mentioned in many other videos, is this piece here. So this is the actual bracket for the radio and the other HVAC unit. So just so you're aware, it does need to come out for this to be installed. So just so you're aware of that, it does need to go in. But overall, this is a great system. I'm gonna put the music on. Works great. I don't want to get copyrighted, obviously. All right, everybody. I just want to thank you guys for watching. I know it's been a little while since we had a YouTube channel update, but for now, just keep your eyes peeled. We're gonna have a few more videos coming out. Obviously, we have the E91 and we have the 996 911. So this is gonna be pretty special moving forward with the channel. So again, a special thank you to Eonon and Zoe. You've been great. I really appreciate it. This unit is awesome, and I really am excited to get to use it more moving forward, because this is gonna come in handy with road trips. So if you guys have any questions, please put it down below in the comments, and I'd be more than happy to assist. So yeah, thank you guys again. Please like, comment, subscribe, or don't, whatever you wanna do, but I appreciate it either way. Later.